stream of the Business English Hour with me, James O'Reilly, and we're doing this, of course, in association with LAK Formación, tailor-made solutions for your business. Okay, so we're getting into 2023. As I said, it's the first stream. We're all a bit rusty in our English. For me, trying to learn also Spanish. We're going to do it this year. This year, we are going to make the big step and we're going to get to that next level. I'm going to do this for you absolutely free. I'm just here to help you, and we're going to jump in and look at many different things today. I'm going to try and make these streams more quick and get to the information as quick as possible. So let's jump in straight away and look at what we're going to be looking at. So in this Business English Hour, today we're going to be looking at connectors, important to transition or to connect up your sentences. We'll be looking at some of those. Then we're going to be looking at words that in 2022 were really annoying for people. Overused words in the English world. This was done through a survey of all the English-speaking people or people who use English on a daily basis. These are words people got tired of in 2022 and do not want to see in 2023. After that, we're going to look at some human resources vocabulary, but also very useful for anybody, because when you're looking for work and in your present job, you'll be needing to know these words. After that, we're going to look at some business idioms, very useful to use in the office, in meetings, in presentations. And then after that as well, I'm going to look at some openings for business emails, how you can do a nice opening for your business email 2023 or just in January. And then also we'll have a look at some listening as well. And then hopefully by the end of this class, you'll have picked up something, and we're going to really do it this year. We're going to push on with our English, and I'm going to be here to help you. I have things that I'm going to learn this year. I really need to get better at technology, really. Already setting up this stream, I was having trouble, but that's just the way it is sometimes, you know, and you just got to push on. So let's get into our connectors. Our first connector that we use in English that we're going to talk about is although. This is used to indicate a contrast or a concession. So we could give it, let's try and give examples off the top of my head. Although I don't have time, I'll do my best to help you with your presentation. Or I helped her although I didn't have time. Next one is super simple. In most languages, we can translate it directly. This is because. It used to indicate a reason for something. I'll give you one. Here is, I will be unable to help you with your presentation because I will be out of the office that day. Since used to indicate a reason or a cause. Since I won't be in the office, I will be unable to help you with your presentation. So we have although, pronunciation, although, not the traditional silent TH in English. We have the 1, 2, 3, which is silent. Although is like spoken. It's like mother, brother, although. That needs practice from a lot of people when you're at home. If you're lucky enough to be working at home, working from home, WFH, practice this openly in the mirror, and put your fingers here, making the sound. Because if you're in the office, you're going to look a bit silly, but if you're at home, you can do what you want. Okay, as number 4, used to indicate a comparison or a similarity. A comparison is he is as tall as his sister. Okay, used to indicate a comparison or a similarity. In order that is something that I hear quite a lot here, translated from Spanish, working here in Spain. In order that it is used to indicate a purpose or a goal. We're going to launch a new product in order that we can catch up on our competition. In order that. Again, the spoken TH. That. In order that. In case, used to indicate contingency or a possibility. So just take your umbrella in case it rains. So that, used to indicate a purpose or a result. Take the umbrella so that if it rains, you will have something to cover your head. So that. Number 8, as soon as, used to indicate timing or a sequence. As soon as you finish your work, you can then help your colleagues. As soon as. While is used to indicate simultaneous action or a contrast. So doing something at the same time. Sometimes they say men are not able to multitask while women can. There's the contrast. So women can do many things while working on other things. That is the simultaneous action. And then unless is used to indicate a condition or a requirement. So don't do anything unless you have finished your presentation first. This to indicate the condition. All right, so these are just general words. You probably know how to use them. Just practice. If you're using something always instead of one of these words, try and get it in one of them. And remember, you can go back on this video, you can stop it, you can pause it, and you can look at these words, okay? We'll be doing many of these throughout the year. Let's move on to our next slide here. These are words that people in the English world in a survey said they wanted to banish, as in to exile. I don't want to see these words anymore in 2023. They have been overused. Perhaps for you guys, you might not be familiar, but I'm going to let you know what they are, and then you perhaps will, even in your own country, you can use them. They will not be probably overused in your country. And they're quite useful. It's just sometimes they get overused. So number 1 is goat. Obviously, this is like a goat, as in the animal, but it is an acronym, and it stands for greatest of all time. So it's something that when people are watching sports programs, especially, we talk about football, you're talking about Messi, but is he the GOAT? Is Messi the GOAT? Is he the greatest of all time? Let me just show you up here. You see Messi here, greatest of all time, the GOAT. This is something that wasn't used a few years ago, and then all of a sudden, everybody, especially on sports programs, are talking about this. They're talking about who is the greatest of all time. Pele is the greatest of all time. Diego Maradona, Pele, or Messi, Ronaldo. Just overused in 2023, used too much for people. Inflection point is something, number 2 here, that you will have heard perhaps in a meeting. And this is when we have that point where things start to go up or things start to go down. Excuse me, if we talk about sales, for example, you're looking at an inflection point. This, I imagine, has been overused in meetings and presentations. Often these are, as I said, often very useful words to know anyway, but just people have felt that they have been overused. So that's an inflection point. It's the point of change. And this is our number 2 word that people wanted banished in the English world. Quiet quitting is in at number 3. This sounds worse than what it is. It has been quite controversial. But what it is essentially is it's working your day, your working day. Let's imagine you have a working day from 9 to 5. That means you're going to start at 9 o'clock, you're going to take your lunch, and then you're going to work on through to 5 o'clock. You are not going to feel guilty for not working any longer than 5 o'clock. You're not going to feel guilty for not answering any emails, for not responding to out of work um, emails or texts. It's about not going above and beyond what you're what you have in your contract, essentially. A lot of people in this country, for Spain, for example, are contacted out of work hours. They're working extra hours, working long days. This perhaps it's a newer generation or just a mentality of quiet quitting, which is essentially just, I'm going to work what I'm supposed to work and I'm not going to do any more than that. If you want me to work more, you'll have to pay me overtime. So in some countries, that's the way it is, actually. In fact, people will just work exactly what they're supposed to do. But in other countries, there is an expectancy to work longer hours, to show you're hardworking. So that's quiet quitting. Gaslighting at number 4 is where you're being manipulated into thinking that what you're thinking is you're misunderstanding, you're getting things wrong. We're not giving you extra work at work. It was already something that we had spoken about before, but you don't remember that you spoke about something, but you're being told by your manager or by your colleagues, you're being told something that you think differently. You're being manipulated. So it comes from a film which was called Gaslight, where a husband and a wife had a situation where he was going into a room and in the attic, which is at the top of the house, and he was leaving the light on. And the wife she would pass and see that the light was on in the attic, and she asked him, "Were you in the attic? The light is on." No, I wasn't there. So this kept happening. I don't know why he was in the attic, but she kept seeing the light on, and he tried to make her think she was crazy because he had not been up there. He didn't turn the light on, and he was trying to make her think she's crazy. So this is what people are doing in a work situation, perhaps a relationship, general communication with people. People are gaslighting each other, and it has been very, very used. It has been used quite a lot, or was used a lot in 2022. I think it will continue to be used in 2023, but people are getting tired of it. Moving forward is something that kind of means in the future. And you can imagine it being used quite a lot in a business setting. So this is not something that we would like. We don't think this will be good for our business moving forward. And it sounds quite nice. Means in the future or as we progress, but you can see where perhaps it just gets used too much and people begin to use it too much, and then everything is moving forward. I even had a conversation with someone I know on a normal level, and he said to me, "I'm not sure that's going to be good for me moving forward." And I thought, is that something you say in a normal conversation? It sounds like something from a meeting or a presentation. Anyway, that's moving forward, which means for the future or as we continue. Amazing is just one of those words that every now and again, or for years at a time, you will hear everything is amazing. Amazing. Okay, so should we do that? Yeah, amazing. So when I was in London at the time, for me, the word there that everybody used was fantastic. Everything just seemed to be fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Let's meet that time. Fantastic. How was it on the weekend? It was fantastic. How was your lunch? Fantastic. Oh, this cake tastes fantastic for that. So I assume, and we can assume, that amazing is the new buzzword. Okay, it's just a word that people are using. And perhaps next year or for 2023, the word will be something new, perhaps brilliant or awesome, for example. I think awesome was used a few years ago quite too much. So we'll see. Amazing, we'll try and use something different. Fantastic, you can go back to that. You can use awesome, brilliant, amazing, super. We'll see what the buzzword is going to be for 2023. Okay, Does that make sense? That seems to be where people are explaining something and it just gets attached on to the end of an explanation and they're asking, so does that make sense? And it kind of is possibly not needed. If it doesn't make sense, somebody will tell you and say, well, could you clarify? I'm not so sure about. But it's just kind of something that people are adding on to the end of an explanation. And it's let's give an example. So we're talking about, so what we're hoping to do moving forward is to get in contact with as many new clients as possible so that they will then in turn come to us and ask for our contacts. Does that make sense? So it could be like, do you understand? Is that clear? Does that make sense? Probably just getting, as I say, these are normal expressions, but being overused. On to irregardless. It's something you can use, and I like to use it at the end of a sentence, which means anyway. Something has to be done. So we can contact our clients by phone, but we'll still have to organize to meet with them anyway. We'll still have to organize to meet with them face to face, irregardless. So it kind of means anyway. It's a nice word. I like it, but you can just get the feeling that people overused it. And they thought, oh, that's nice, I'll use it. So next one, I am guilty of number 9, which is absolutely. When you're confirming something, when you agree with something, definitely, absolutely, for sure. These are synonyms that we can use, and absolutely seems to be one that is overused. I'll have to be careful. I am guilty of saying absolutely quite a lot. It's just one of those words. Yeah, it just goes around and people use it too much, and I am guilty. And number 10 is, it is what it is. So generally this is used as an acceptance of a situation. What can we do? This is the situation. It is what it is. Let's just move on. Often you could say your department needs more people, but you have to just manage with what you have. You know, it is what it is, and we will try to fix the problem in the meantime. But, you know, it is what it is, and you can understand how this expression has been used or overused too much in 2022. It was not used, I think, before 2021. It didn't really exist. One similar one was when we had the economic crash of 2008. One similar one of it is what it is was we are where we are. So we have we've been living like this is when the government, of course, was they were blaming the people when in fact it was the banks and the government who were really to blame, not the people. So the government was often saying, look, we've been living beyond our means. We need to tighten our belts. We are where we are. And it basically means it is what it is. So we are where we are. It is what it is. And for a long time, actually, that's the way it is. That's the way it is has been used. So that's the way it is. We are where we are. It is what it is. All right. So those are those ones. Let's move on to our next one. And that was human resources. 5 useful words that you should definitely know. I'm sure you do, but just try and remember them. We're going through bit by bit here. So number 1 is recruitment, which is the process of finding and hiring new employees for a company. Often you will have a recruitment drive in your work. So is there a recruitment drive going on at present where you work, or has there been a recruitment freeze? at the moment. I believe there's a lot of freezing going on, especially in the tech industry and possibly in other industries. After that, we have retention, the ability of a company to keep its employees over a long period of time. So this could be considered quite good if you can, what is the employee retention of a company? If you can keep your employees, generally they must be quite satisfied. The compensation packages are attractive and the company cares about its employees, so it's great. Employee retention could be bad or good. Okay, moving on to number 3, which is compensation, which I just mentioned. It is the total amount of money and benefits that an employee receives in exchange for their work. That includes your salary, which is your yearly salary, but also you could work out a package of bonus perks, such as a company car, perhaps certain days free, and we call these perks. Perks are kind of extras, but it comes under the umbrella term of compensation. So that's all the package that you get. Often now you'll get a wellness compensation where your company can pay for your gym or for things that are good for your mental well-being. You can get a package where you can be, you are able to have language classes, in this case, English classes, where your company will help you. So that is the total amount of money and benefits that an employee receives. After that, at number 4, we have a performance appraisal. How often do you get a performance appraisal? Once a week, once a month, once a quarter, or once a year. This is a systematic evaluation of an individual or group's job performance. It is that time when you sit down with your manager or whoever it may be and you talk about how you're doing. Are you where you want to be? Could you be doing better, or are you doing well and where you should go from there? And after that, we have employee engagement. This is the level of commitment and involvement an employee has towards their work and the company they work for. So you want high employee engagement. That's what you are looking for in the company. You want to be engaged, and your company would like you to be highly engaged as well. They are 5 useful human resources words. And I'm going to move on now to the next one. These are the business idioms. These are nice to know. Often idioms are quite difficult to remember. I do understand that because as a language learner myself, I find to remember an idiom, I need to see it lots and lots and lots. So don't worry about these. What you want to be doing is getting familiar, and over the course of this year, you'll hear these many times. I will repeat them. And break the ice is our number 1. This means to initiate a conversation or contact in a new, unfamiliar setting in order to ease tension and create a friendly atmosphere. So here's an example. I know we haven't met before, so I thought I would break the ice by introducing myself. So it's just a way, I think, in your language, it could be very similar expression, and therefore in English, just so you know, it's the same. And it's often we'll say, you know, when you say something as an icebreaker or to break the ice, to stop the tension. Cooking with gas, I really like this. I think it's easy to remember, and I think it could be good for you. This is when you are making efficient and rapid progress. Sometimes something can be slow to start with, but after that, you're cooking with gas. You're going really well. We were behind schedule, but now we're cooking with gas, and we should be able to finish on time. I really like this expression. I think it's visual. Cooking with gas, it's better than cooking with electricity, so many people say. So cooking with gas, yeah. So That's it, guys. That's great. We're cooking with gas. I really like this expression. I think I think you can use it quite easily. Out of the loop. This is not difficult um, to forget, or it's easy to remember because you have in the loop and out of the loop. This means to not be informed or included in something. You don't know what's going on. You are out of the loop. A loop is like the circle. So you're outside of the circle. Excuse me. And the opposite would be in the loop, where you do know what's happening. You are informed. So quite easy to remember. Very good for you guys. I don't know. I just feel in my job, I haven't been at the office for a while. I feel like I'm out of the loop on what's been happening with the project. I would really, really love to be in the loop. So if someone could keep me in the loop, often you'll say that to somebody. Just keep me in the loop. Let me know what's going on. Keep me informed. Okay, that's a great one. In the loop, out of the loop. Down to number 4, which is cutting corners. This means to save time, effort, or money by doing something less thoroughly or ethically than it should be done. Generally, it's considered bad. We were trying to meet this deadline, but we can't. We're trying to meet this deadline, but we can't cut corners on quality. Cut corners has a negative feeling about it. If somebody is working on your house or doing something and they're cutting corners, it's not good. They are sacrificing quality for time. Or if someone's working on your house, they're using bad products. They're using cheaper materials or doing things inefficiently. They're cutting corners. Okay, you do not want to be cutting corners. Head in the clouds. This idiom means to be unaware of the reality or to be impractical and unrealistic. Well, your head is in the clouds. For example, he has some good ideas, but sometimes his head is in the clouds and he doesn't think about practicalities. So just your head is a bit, you're wandering, you're not focused. If your head is in the cloud, you're not in the clouds, you're not really focused. You want to be focused and not have your head in the clouds. I think the visual is enough here. So there they are. They were our 5 business idioms to break the ice. Cooking with gas. We'll say 6. In the loop and out of the loop. Cutting corners and head in the clouds. What we want is we want to be cooking with gas in 2023. That's what we want. And hopefully I can help you with that, with your English. Moving on to the emails. These are openings that everybody gets anxiety with emails. It's horrible. We overthink too much. It's like, oh, what if? So hopefully you can choose 1 or 2 of these to remember. And these are our 5 business email openings. I hope this email finds you well. This is a polite and friendly way to start an email, indicating that you hope the recipient is in good health and spirits. So perhaps if it's your first time contacting someone, or if you haven't contacted somebody in a while, this is a nice one to say. Hi, Anna, I hope this email finds you well. And then you can continue to what you want to talk about. It's a nice one. It is used, and you can use it at your leisure. I am number 2. I'm writing to inquire about. This is a formal way to begin an email where you are requesting information or asking a question. Hi, Anna. I'm writing to inquire about the openings for the English language course for 2023. Are there places still available? So I'm writing to inquire about. It's quite nice, quite formal. The next one is similar to the previous one. I'm reaching out in regards to. This phrase, as I said, is similar to the previous one. It is also used when you want to ask about something or provide information. So if I want to tell you something, if I want to tell Anna something, hi Anna, I'm reaching out in regards to the English language courses. Just to let you know, if you want to join, just send me, let me know. Okay. Or, hi Anna, I'm just reaching out in regards to English classes. Are they still available? So it means I'm just getting in contact with you about something. To reach out, to get in contact. Number 4, thank you for your recent email regarding. This is a polite way to acknowledge a previous email and the subject discussed in it. So thank you for your recent email regarding the English classes. Yes, they are still available. Just send the application in, please. And finally, as discussed, I'm following up on if you have previously discussed the matter with the recipient through email, phone, or a meeting, and you're following up on an action item or next steps, this opening phrase could be useful. So where you have spoken about something before and then you want to just clarify something. Hi Anna, I'm just, as discussed, I'm following up on our discussion about language classes. I have sent the application, but I didn't receive confirmation. Could you just confirm for me that I will be on the course? So following up on is like perhaps you're still missing something. Often that can be the case where you've asked for something, it's still not there, so you just send a follow-up email. And this is a polite way to ask for something again. Perhaps clarification or just where someone hasn't answered you. So those are quite good email openings, quite nice, quite formal. As I said, go back on the video and you will be able to just stop here and look at these. I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to inquire about. I'm reaching out in regards to thank you for your recent email regarding, and as discussed, I'm following up on. Really great email openings. Often when we write emails, we get a bit like, oh, how do I start this email? We get the anxiety and we overthink. So these are quite nice ones to use. Later in the year, or perhaps this month, we'll be looking at endings, and that's going to be super simple. But I do realize people get nervous and often just overthink these, to be honest. Now, the last thing I want to look at before we go is to do a little bit of listening, because sometimes it's something we overlook. It's we don't do our listening. Let me get my headphones on. Now, I can hear myself better. Listening is going to be something that if you want to improve on, of course, you can watch me and you can listen to me. But if you can get into the habit of listening a little bit every day in English, of course, that's going to help you. So I'll help you in these classes, but and I'll try and give you some tips over the year. Okay, no pressure. No one works well under pressure for learning English. It should be enjoyable. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this video, just a short one about these unfortunate events that happened recently in California, and let's just go ahead and listen, and I'll be making some comments.
Look at this water. Look at this guy. It's almost waist deep over there.
California has been hit by floods. These are floods. An evacuation order has been issued by Santa Barbara County.
I've grown up around here. Last time, I think 97, it feels like it was this bad. It's been quite some time where it's been this flooded. It's just so much saturation, though. As far as day-to-day impact, can't make it to work. It's like a rat trying to get out of a maze, trying to find a different little route to get through.
So, we're having unprecedented rain. This creek next to our house never flows, ever.
Okay, so what you saw really in this video mainly was. Let me just take the headphones off. Put them over there. So what you really saw in this in that particular video was the American accent, the first lady who was being interviewed. She was speaking, and I can imagine it was quite perhaps difficult to catch, or you might be thinking, oh, I don't really understand the American accent, and you saw the a celebrity afterwards again with the American accent, Ellen DeGeneres. She had a famous talk show up to recently. So what we need to be doing is listening to a variety of different accents. You do not know who you'll be dealing with. Perhaps right now you're dealing with people from the UK, you're dealing with international people. However, in most languages, lots of different accents, and you need to just be understanding and say, yes, I need to understand the American accent, the Canadian, the Australian, the Indian, the Scottish, whichever accent it may be accepting, and don't pigeonhole. Don't put yourself into just one small box of like, I like that accent, and that's the one I understand, because native people in Spanish or French or English don't think like that. If you are English, you have your own particular accent, but you can still understand everybody else. It's very rare that I would hear a native talking about. It might mention something about an accent, but they do understand everything. So we need to be open-minded, and in this way, what we'll be doing is I'll give you tips on how to listen to people. Interviews is a great way to start getting used to accents, watching things on Netflix or whatever the platform is from different countries. Don't limit yourself, be open-minded, enjoy English, and as time goes on, you'll just get better and better and better, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, so that's all for today. Our first one of 2023. You guys are going to do great this year. We're going to do it together, and with LK Formación and me, James O'Reilly English, you're going to really push forward this year, and we're going to give you lots. Just stay tuned and join me. And as I said, this I didn't say this, but this will be on YouTube as well, so you'll get the subtitles later. And I'll be on here as well for those on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the new connections. And please, if this is helpful for you, just share with a friend. That's all I ask. Just share, and that's great for me. I'll see you in the next couple of days with a new episode of the Business Hour. So have a great day, and I'll see you later.